What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Blown Coverage Fantasy Football Podcast. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm waiverwirequeen. Today's episode, we are going to talk about Thursday night football. That's right. It's almost time for some football. And we'll talk about players who are must-starts, and they are obviously players you start every week. And we'll talk about players who are wild cards and they may be able to produce this week. And then we'll also talk about some injuries. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We have a lot of great content, which will help you every week. We have information on waiver wire ads, start sits, trade advice. We got a whole lot of information, which will help you every week compete at the highest level against your opponent. So make sure you subscribe and have your notifications turned on. Now let's talk about Thursday night football. This is going to be a really good game. We have the Chiefs versus the Chargers. Need I say any more? Yes, I should. Patrick Mahomes versus Justin Herbert. This is going to be an exciting game. Two of the top 5 quarterbacks in fantasy football, two of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL. This game is going to be very, very good. I'll tell you this, both defenses are improved this season. They'll definitely be much more improved. A key ad for the Chargers is obviously CLEMENT. He had a really good game on Sunday. And obviously the Chiefs went out and they revamped their defense. So I'm expecting a little more defense, but I'm still expecting the offense to be the offense. I'm expecting Patrick Mahomes to have a really good game. I don't expect him to go off like he did versus the Cardinals because, again, the Chargers defense is improved, and I believe they're going to be better than the Cardinals this season, as well as the Chiefs defense. But I do expect Mahomes and Justin Herbert to be amazing. And y'all know what happens when I start singing. That means it's going to be magical. So players for the Chiefs who are always must starts every week, it's a no-brainer. It's obviously Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Both of these guys had great games versus the Cardinals. And they will show up and play very well versus the Chargers. Mahomes and Kelce are the top performers fantasy-wise for the Chiefs, and they're always must start. You start them every week. Doesn't matter who they are playing. You start them every single week. Now, some other players you should consider playing is obviously Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He has regained that starting running back position. He's confident. He looked good. I do expect him to come back down to earth a little bit this week versus the Chargers, but he is still a player you can start. He has a lot of flex appeal in this game. And at the wide receiver position, Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju Smith-Schuster is the number 1 wide receiver for the Chiefs. He's a wide receiver I trust the most, and you should too. Obviously, Mahomes is going to get other wide receivers involved. But if I had to pick a wide receiver for the Chiefs who has the potential to have a really good game, it will be Juju Smith-Schuster. I have him finishing the end of the season as a top 20 wide receiver. We'll see what happens. Okay, we will see what happens. Now, players for the Chargers you should start. Obviously, you're going to start Justin Herbert. He's a must start every week, every day, all year long. Now, some other key players who are must starts is normally Keenan Allen, but Keenan Allen is not playing this game. He's been ruled out. So you'll have to go with someone else. If you are looking for a replacement for Keenan Allen, check out my episode on waiver wire ads. We have a whole lot of wide receivers, which will help you. Now, Austin Ekeler had a terrible game. He disappointed week 1, but I expect him to have a nice bounce back week 2. He is an overall better running back than James Conner. James Conner was decent versus the Chiefs, but I expect Austin Ekeler to bounce back, and we're going to forget about that week 1 performance because he's going to have a really good game this week. They really need to get him involved in the passing game. Just get him the daggone ball, okay? That's what I want to see. That's what Austin Ekeler brings to the table. PPR back, and we need to see more of that. Now, some key players who really need to step up in this game, Gerald Everett and Mike Williams. I don't know what the hell happened to Mike Williams week 1, but we need to see Mike Williams step up because obviously Keenan Allen is not playing. So it's the next man up, and it really should be Mike Williams. We're hoping, right? If you drafted Mike Williams, you were very disappointed with his performance week 1. You want to see more. You want to see better. I'm not even sure he was on the field. We know he was on the field, but it just, when you look at the stat line, it was like he could have been on the field. Not with that type of performance. No, not with that type of production. No. But this week, we are hoping Thursday night that he is able to step up and produce fantasy-wise for you. So consider starting Gerald Everett at the tight end position. Again, if you had Austin Hooper, he was a dud. Again, if you have Kittle and you don't want to take the chance, then take a chance on Gerald Everett this week. And here are my wild card plays. DeAndre Carter with the Chargers. He had a really good week. And you know that Keenan Allen is not going to play. So Carter will be in the mix. 3 receptions, 64 yards and a touchdown week 1. I expect him to be involved because, again, with Keenan Allen out and we don't know what the heck's going on with Mike Williams, you got Palmer as well as another player who may have a good game. And then you always look for MVS to get a 40-yard touchdown. So I'm hoping to see something like that. But if I had to choose which one of those players I would take a chance on, is it going to be Carter or is it going to be MVS? I would take the chance on Carter, because with MVS, it's going to be hit and miss. It's going to be hit and miss with both guys. But when we're talking about hoping for one of those 40-yard touchdowns, it's not something that's a consistent thing. With Carter, all we need him to really do is get his 3 receptions and maybe a touchdown to add. And that is definitely possible with the increased role due to opportunity because Keenan Allen is out. Y'all leave some comments and let me know who you think is going to win this game, the Chiefs or the Chargers. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We have a lot of great content which will help you throughout the season regarding waiver wire ads, start sits, and other great fantasy football advice. I'll see you guys on Friday. We have our start sits episode for the other NFL games, week 2. So make sure you tune in on Friday. See you guys then.